much, Mr. Stringer, and it is a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. And may I also congratulate the honourable member for Bishop Auckland for securing this really important debate. And if I can start by sending my condolences to George Smith's family at a very difficult time. Now, many members may know that before coming to this place, I was both a doctor and as a barrister. As a doctor, I work predominantly in acute care, so I have seen the brutal speed with which cardiac arrest can lead to death. But as a barrister, I specialised in inquest and clinical negligence, and I also saw what happens when people don't get timely interventions and the devastating consequences that arose out of that. And the stark reality is, as many members have already set out, that every minute counts. Every minute reduces life expectancy by 10%. And we know that if you get prompt intervention, your survival rate can be as high as 70% if your defib is within 200 metres of your location. That's a 3 to 5 minute brisk walk there and back. But the stark reality is, out-of-hospital arrests have a survival rate of less than 1 in 12. You compare that to in-hospital arrests, where the survival rate to discharge is in the region of 25%. And that's why this was a really important focus to me when I was elected to Parliament in Solihull West and Shirley. Now, my constituency is a mix of urban and semi-rural, but despite that, we only have 40.32% of defibs which are within the recommended distance. Only 7 out of 10,000 are the number of public defibs, which is well below the national recommendation. And if we compare this across the country, in the United Kingdom, the per population count is approximately 5 to 10 times lower than in a country such as Japan. That cannot be right in this day and age. So that's why it was one of our fundraisers in my office this year. We all went and did the Solihull Way. We walked 20-odd miles in the day, and we raised for 2 defibs and some bleed kits, all on behalf of a brilliant charity called the Daniel Baird Foundation. And what was really moving about that was we were able to donate one of those defibs to the Wave Cafe in my constituency, where a valued member of the community had sadly died some months earlier because they didn't have access to a defib. I'm going to reiterate a couple of calls that have already been made to the Minister, and I know she's been listening carefully. Firstly, let's exempt VAT from this. It's ridiculous. For every 5 defibs that are currently bought, we could afford another one if we got rid of VAT. I will give way.
Thank you, Chair. Thank the honourable member for taking my intervention. I agree with the honourable member. This is a UK-wide issue. However, my concern is the potential for inequality and the need to ensure that poorer communities are not left behind, such as my constituency of Western Bartonshire, where 63% of postcodes are out of direct reach of these life-saving machines. And the honourable member made reference to the fact that he's a barrister. Believe it or not, because public and community access is essential, often defibs are stolen or vandalised. Does the honourable member agree that not only exempting VAT would help tackle the issue of inequality in poorer constituencies, but consider a specific criminal offence to help protect these vital machines?
I'm very grateful to the honourable member for his intervention, and he makes a really important point, because the consequences of vandalism or damage to these equipment is life-changing. It's actually, it can end a life, and the ramifications of that have to be clearly pointed out and have to be reflected within the law of this land. The second point I would make is around education. And in fact, I recently wrote with my honourable friend, the member for Dumfries and Galloway, to the Transport Secretary about expanding the education around life-saving skills as part of the driving test. We should be incorporating it more in the national curriculum. So will the Minister speak to her colleagues in both the Department of Health and the Department of Transport about ensuring everybody in this country not only knows where a defib is, but knows how to operate it so that we can get life-saving interventions as quickly as possible?